Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video, we're talking about a massive improvement to Nintendo 3DS emulation on Android. We're also talking about Doom, Resident Evil 2, a bunch of games for $10, a new Kickstarter project that looks extremely interesting, and pinball. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off here talking about Nintendo 3DS emulation on Android with Citra, just not the version of Citra that's on the Google Play Store. We're talking about Citra MMJ. Now, Citra MMJ is 100% free. It's available on GitHub, and I will leave a link to it in the description below. It is a fork of Citra designed for performance as opposed to emulation accuracy, and if you're struggling running 3DS games on the Google Play Store version of Citra, you might want to check out Citra MMJ. Now, this brand new version of Citra just released the other day, and it's heavily focused on performance and a few other things here, but mainly on performance surrounding Antutu. This update is pretty darn big. For those that are unaware, Antutu is a benchmarking tool, and you might be asking yourself, what does a benchmarking tool have to do with a 3DS emulator? And the answer might actually surprise you. It was discovered a while back that Samsung created an app called GOS, or Game Optimizing Service. And this game optimizing service limited performance on games and a bunch of other apps, basically throttling your phone to save battery life. And as far as I know, there is no way to disable it, but Citra kind of works around this. Interestingly enough, Samsung's game optimizing service doesn't really throttle any benchmarking tools like Antutu, which kind of makes a lot of sense considering they want their phones to look as good as possible. So long story short here, at a high level, the Antutu build of Citra MMJ tricks the phone into thinking it's running a benchmarking test and the phone doesn't throttle. This will result in a performance boost for certain phones out there, specifically some Samsung phones and possibly even others. As far as I know, some other manufacturers might do similar things. And in addition to all of that, this new update has some bug fixes and introduces the ability to delete cheats. The special Antutu build of Citra is pretty easy to find on GitHub. Again, check a link in the description below. And I'm really curious here to see if other emulators follow this trend. Next up here, this image may or may not bring back a ton of nostalgia for you. It definitely does for me. I've spent hours upon hours playing this game back in the day, and that is Space Cadet 3D Pinball, and yes, you can get it on Android. The APK for this can be found directly on GitHub, so I will leave a link to the GitHub in the description below in the event that you want to check it out. Version 1.3 just came out a few days ago, and it introduces better landscape handling, larger flipper buttons, volume options, and a few more tweaks. Next up here, we're talking about Silent Hill 2 on PC, and if you are a fan of the game, you might want to check out the Enhanced Edition. Now, the Enhanced Edition at a high level is a patch per se. It updates the game's visuals, audio, and also adds in some new features. It's kind of like an HD addition to the original game. Now, the Silent Hill 2 Enhanced Edition just got a really massive update. They've revamped the entire installation process. They've improved the visuals, and they've also rebuilt the audio engine from scratch. And on top of all of that, there are a bunch more changes. I recommend checking out that video for an awesome explanation. I'll leave a link in the description below. For those that are curious, the Enhanced Edition is free, but you do require the base version of Silent Hill 2 in order to install this. And speaking about installing, next up here, this is a quick one. Someone apparently has installed Doom on a McDonald's kiosk in a McDonald's. I don't know if this is real or a Photoshop. The more I look at it, the more I think it's actually real. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are about this, whether it's real, whether it's fake, and your overall thoughts about playing Doom sideways on a McDonald's kiosk. This is ridiculous, but also awesome if true. Moving on now, and we're talking about a brand new Kickstarter that just launched today. It's called the Revocade. It has to deal with emulation, the Raspberry Pi, arcade games, and interchangeable controls. It's actually a pretty neat project. The Revocade is basically a modular arcade unit. It's got a 17-inch screen, it's powered by the Raspberry Pi, and it's got a bunch of different control types. As far as I know here, they're all plug and play. At the time of filming, they have 59 days to go, 28 backers, and they've raised $16,594 USD of a lofty $200,000 goal. As for pricing on this, the individual arcade stick is $59, the racing wheel is $69, And the trackball and spinner combo is 79 bucks, but that is just for the controller. Now they do have some packages here. They have a starter edition, which includes the main unit, a Raspberry Pi, and a 6-button arcade stick for 500 bucks. And this does not include all of the controls, just one of them. They also have a Racer edition, which includes the arcade stick and racing wheel for 560 bucks. And a Trackstar edition, which includes the arcade stick and the trackball for 570 bucks. And scrolling down just a little bit, they have an Early Bird Deluxe edition, which includes everything for 579 bucks. The normal price will be 630 bucks. And for what it's worth here, to me, the Revocade kind of seems like the love child between a Picade and also the Neo Geo Mini. And I would argue that the Revocade is probably going to be better than both of them. I will leave a link to the Kickstarter in the description below, so feel free to check it out. And let me know your thoughts about the Revocade. Is it something you're interested in, or is it something you're not? But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Let me know your thoughts on anything we talked about today in the comments below, and we did talk about quite a bit. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos, don't tempt fate, save your state.